Hey everybody, we are back, and so is Mono Red. With the release of Avatar: The Last Airbender, we get awesome firebending cards, specifically Fire Nation Cadet, a 1 mana 1/2 with Firebending 2 as long as there's a lesson in the graveyard, and you can pay 2 to give it +1/+0 till end of the turn. And Firebending Student, 2 mana for a 1/2 with Prowess, and then Firebending X, where X is the power. And so with that, we have a lot of lesson cards in order to keep the firebending going. So Firebending Lesson is a burst lightning that deals 1 more damage, but can only go to creatures and not creatures or players. We have Redirect Lightning to be able to change the direction of a targeted removal spell or ability. And Abandon Attachments. This is discard a card, draw 2 cards. As a lesson, instant speed, use up the rest of the firebending mana that's not going to carry over to your next main step. But with that, you have a bunch of hasty creatures like Emberheart Challenger and Show Off. Emberheart Challenger, specifically with all these pump spells, gets a lot better because you're targeting it and you're able to draw another card. And then the last card here is Fire Nation Palace. This is untapped as long as you control a basic land, which we have plenty of. And then 2 mana tap, target creature gains Firebending 4 until end of turn. So a way to kind of step up on your mana. We're going to jump right in and see how this deck performs, and we'll come back at the end and do a little wrap up and see where we think this deck may go and may evolve. I want to get these Firebending triggers going. You definitely need to be aware of the instants and sorceries, right? The instants are the only ones that you can play with Firebending. We'll go ahead and go first. Fire Nation's Cadets. Opponent says hello, so I will also. Okay. We'll go Emberheart and Dross attack in. Next turn, we could think about playing Abandon Attachments if we're going to be playing the 1-drops. Okay, Relic. Okay. We do have a mouse, so this is something that is quite a bit of damage here. So, let's target the mouse, see what we get in our exile card. Okay, we get the land. Okay, so we can play the land. We could play 2 spells. Discard a land. Two attacks, get 2 mana. Okay, 14. And now we have Burst Lightning if we can attack, so that we can pay the kicker. If not, we'd have to wait till we got another land drop. So, yeah. Okay. That's what it's here for, right? Mono Red doing its thing and getting off early. Go ahead and get another one going. These will be fast and furious, right? These games are not going to last too many turns one way or the other with this Mono Red deck. This is going to be dumping out a lot of spells very early. No haste on turn 2, which is unfortunate, but we do have the Palace. So we'll go ahead and get the cadets out there. This could be a bunch of different things, so we will go ahead and just attack first. We'll play the student. Okay. Accumulated wisdom. Next turn we can do the same play with abandoned attachments and get the lesson into the graveyard and then get the 2 mana back, but we do need to attack with the 1/2 in order to have that happen. So I think we might get rid of this Wild Ride. Counter spell, okay. But it does go into the graveyard. So that is where we wanted it to be. Now we can do Wild Ride ahead of time. We can make a bunch of mana. And then we can Burst Lightning for a lot of damage. Right, so now we'll do Burst Lightning for 5. Do we do it again? Do we do 2? If we did 2... No. We do this one also, right? Okay. So this is 9. So if we hit him, that's 11, and we attack for 10. Okay. Yeah, we'll just do it anyway. We have haste coming next turn, so a board wipe. Fine. 1 off, but... I did the math right. I know we were 1 away, but at least I know I did the math right, and we have haste to clean up the rest. Awesome for Mono Red. This deck, certainly a board wipe is really bad, especially something like Wrath of God hits, you know, everything, and I'm not saying that it's good, but it's certainly more resilient against sweepers than some of the red decks in the past. There's a lot more haste built into this deck, and a little bit more resiliency because you're putting out 1 or 2 creatures and you're pumping the spells on those specific creatures. You don't need to keep putting out more and more creatures. We'll go ahead and go forth and Cadets again. Here's where we'll get into an issue where we're not going to be able to play Show Off on 2 if we try this Abandoned Attachments plan. But we will go ahead and see what is in our best interest. Really depends on what kind of blocker he might put out. Okay, Temple. Which means we do want to be out and aggressive. Play Show Off an attack. From Blue White, I'm much more worried about sweepers than individual removal spells. So, something to keep in mind. Okay, lesson's still going to the graveyard. Prowess trigger still happening. Oh, I'm sorry, no more lies. That's exile, right? Okay. So, not in the graveyard. Something to consider. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's do Wild Ride on this one. Okay. See if he lets us attack. He does. Opponent is going to stock up. I think if we had drawn the land and we had redirect lightning up, I think we would have been much better position, but that was not the case. We need to find a land. There we go. Okay. Not a lot here left to do. Stock up again. Okay. Okay, I mean, we're going to go for it. It may not work, but we are going to go for it. We don't have a real great way to get rid of this target, but we'll go ahead and attack. Enchantment. So we can do this, right? So we'll go ahead, pay 5 life, direct it there. And then deal the damage and burst lightning. Okay. Redirect. It's a double-edged sword, right? You need to be able to redirect it to something, but when it does come, it really messes with your opponent's plan there. That's a real good example there. Let's jump right into another one. Okay. It's certainly an all-in plan. It's very fast. It takes the decision making and shrinks down the decision making. It's certainly not a number of small decisions over the course of a long game. Not exactly what we want to see. We'll go ahead and keep it anyway, but not exactly what we want to see. Okay. We will see what our opponent does first, but then we were likely to go ahead and just kill this now. Okay. We will go ahead and... So this is... Okay. You can do that, but it exhausts. Okay. So we're going to get Slick Shot out. Do we want Slick Shot out or the Cadets? Let's get Cadets out then. Hired Claw. There's a creature without flying. Okay. Okay. You may get a counter here. Menace. Okay. Okay. Firebending lesson. So this is one lesson into the next. Do we hold this up? Or do we just kill something now? Kill this now. Attacking for 5. He's attacking for 4. Oh, I guess 5 because he can get the counter. Okay. So we're in a race. Do we attack this for 2? He can get a couple of counters. Draw 2 cards. Okay. And this is lethal. Yep, there you go. Mono Red versus Mono Red. No surprise there. Mono Red wins. Right? It's kind of a funny one, if I say myself. But let's go ahead and get right into it. It's certainly a fun deck. It is stressful that every decision is so magnified because there's so many fewer turns in the game, rather than something else that you would be considering where you would be, you know, spacing it out over the course of a few turns. We will keep this. We could get punished with the 1 land, but we're going to go ahead and keep it for science and see if that works. Okay. No targets for Burst Lightning. We will... We'll get the student out there first. If there's a removal spell. I expect there would be a removal spell. This would likely eat it. Yep. Okay. Looks like the Sultai Reanimator deck. Certainly already enough stuff in the graveyard. We could go Slick Shot and Firebending Lesson. Attack for 3. They certainly could have Reanimate right here. Yep. Demon having a lifelink becomes a problem. Okay, so this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 damage is a ton, but not enough to kill him. We might just be out of luck here. Two removal spells to kill this. This would lose its lifelink at least. Attack for 10. Next turn, this is 5, 5, and 1, right? So we're 1 damage short. Just on these cards alone. But we're not going to have a creature at all. And he is going to have an 8/8. And so it looks like we are finished here. Where were you last turn? Okay. Yep, nothing to be done there. So I did say fast games one way or the other. And that is the other side of this. Obviously, Zombify was the less important reanimation spell, but they had a redundancy there, and you should expect that they would be having something there on turn 4. The lifelink is really unfortunate on those demons. Just makes them... just puts the game a little bit out of reach for our shenanigans, and certainly what we are trying to do is not typical, or you know, can't be upset that that it was out of reach. It's quite far to get out of our reach here, so understandable. Let's see what this opponent is playing. Roke the Spite Mage. That's a cool name. We'll go with Firebending Student. Yep, I'm not going to survive for too long. And we'll have Content. Okay. They're going to Surveil. We'll go with Ember Heart and see what happens. Accumulated Knowledge, okay. If we can untap, we would be in a pretty good spot. But our opponent has something to say about that, and we're not going to be able to just choose ourselves. Okay, so we have a second student. Turn Inside Out, not doing much for us. We could play another. Hope they play a small creature for us to get the lesson into the graveyard. Yep. If we could do that, we could deal a bunch of damage next turn. A deck with this low of a curve, you would think that you wouldn't mind missing land drops, but you certainly want to. Certainly want to be hitting them. Okay, I think we do go ahead and lessen here. Okay, do kill one of the Fire Nations. We'll go ahead and get some damage in while we can. Really need the lands. We need to show off and then Might of the Meek. Yeah, just a little bit stuck here. Depending on what we draw, we could show off for the turn after. Yep. So it's during his turn that everything has flashbacks, so we can't really do much on his turn because he'll have removal spells to deal with everything. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try and sneak this in, and then we're going to try to draw land, sneak it in, Might of the Meek, and then redirect. That would be 6, 7, 8, 9. So possible. I think we do have to do this in a way where our opponent knows what's up. Okay. Does he accidentally tap too much and not have a removal for Slick Shot? He knows it's there. Yep. Yep. He's using the 2 mana. He didn't touch this 3 mana here. So maybe he does have a removal spell or two, and he's already sniffed out the plan. Yeah. No reach. Okay. Removal? Yeah. Okay. Did we get there? All right. That was a close one. I was certainly... I was not 100% sure we were getting there on that one, but yep, another really good showing for the redirect. Obviously, you can't play 4 of them in the deck because they're not as good against some of the control strategies that are using sweepers rather than targeted removal, but it does seem to do something where you can go ahead and play it. I was going to do the pump spell on my creature and then redirect the pump spell back to itself if need be, but it did not come up that way. Might of the Meek is awesome when you do have a mouse, so we'll go ahead and keep this. Dragonite Red, so that is cool. Let's see what the opponent's going to do first, but we will lessen this. Can we get him to spend his mana on 1 damage to see if we can make him spend his 2 mana on getting the counter? Seems awesome. Yep. Tough one, because obviously he's going to have a removal spell. Let's go ahead and get it out there. He might want to play a creature first. Three mana, he definitely has enough to do both, but so do we on the following turn. And we'll see. Challenger for him. Yeah. Okay. We'll go ahead and do this now. I'm not going to be able to play the cadets, but the lesson is a good one for us. Lesson will deal with Slick Shot if we have enough turns, right? 2 cards in hand. Who knows? This game might be over right now. Yep. Our lesson. Okay, he's going to have 2 cards. If one's a removal spell, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh, yeah. So, if he draws any action spell, we lose. If he draws a land, can he not attack with everybody? Okay, well, if he draws anything, we lose. What has he got? We're going to have trample. So we're going to have 6, 7, 8. It's not good enough though, is it? We could we could attack with everything. I mean, do we need trample there? Not really, right? To put on full control. And get 2 manifest creatures. it's going to mean he gets another draw, right? And so this could easily just... Yeah. Okay. Makes 100% makes sense. I thought it was the best line in the... I thought it was the best line that we would have. I have 2 blockers up. Let's go ahead and jump right back into it. I would love to see where this is going to iterate to. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of power out of nowhere, but it's all reliant on like one creature here, right? So 1 removal spell and we are in a world of hurt. And as red gets even more popular, the idea of having no removal spells in your opening hand means something your opponent is not going to be likely to keep. Let's see what our opponent has. Pollinator. Good enough to use my early removal on. Get in when we can. Another pollinator and no land drop, right? So this is going to be Cadet. This is going to be Burst Lightning and a Wild Ride, and yep, off to the races on that one. Let's jump into one more and then we'll go ahead and recap the deck, talk a little bit about the card choices and what we might be able to do to make it a little bit more resilient. Okay, only 1 creature. This is a bit of an issue, but hopefully we have a game like last game where it's Mono Dork and we can kill the Mono Dork and really throws them off their game. This one is a lesson, so Cadets could come out with Firebending right away. Okay, as for Origins, search for a land, makes sense. Six damage. So let's see. This is 2, 4, 2, 4. So this is 8 points of damage plus 6. So this is a total of 14 right now. Not exactly where we need to be. Though I would consider doing one of them. Let's see what the opponent does. Looks like he's going to play this vehicle. Yep. And that's going to get him a land. Ah. See if we could reconnect to that game. Not sure what happened there. Looks like I am connected to the internet just fine. Momentary lapse. Okay. Two, This would be 5 if I attack this way. Deal 2 damage to target creature. This is not a creature, right? Can't. No. Can't target that. I could wait a turn and see if I can burst lightning for the full thing. He is looking to get Esper Origins out next turn. And we're not going to be able to deal with that. So let's go ahead and hit to the face for 2. And see what we have here. I assume he's going to go Origins and... No, he's going to go Coma. Okay. He can go ahead and tap it right away. Okay, he's going to search for a land. Does this leave the door open, though? I guess it depends on what he plays here, right? Okay. Flying. Yeah. Had a chance there if it was something with... something we could get rid of 2 blockers, but with 1 blocker we're not going to have a chance there, so... Good games there. Kona comes through with the second main. Let's take a look at the deck and see where we are right now, so that we can take a look and see like what we would expect going forward. So as we talked about, the deck is rather consistent, being able to get out creatures, attack with them. Some of the synergies, specifically like Might of the Meek, only really working with Emberheart, and the cadets needing abandoned attachments to really be able to attack more than one time. Firebending is great, but not 100% sure cadets is the right 1-drop. We went from Hired Claw, and cadets does not seem to match up specifically damage-wise. If it can make the deck because of the mana, then it would be something we would be really used to. Fire Nation Palace is in theory a good card. I don't think we saw any games where I was able to get it out. Wild Ride, Turn Inside Out, these are all great, but obviously we do need Might of the Meek in order to give trample. That's why it is so important. So I wonder if maybe trying to get another mouse in the deck, maybe over the cadets. And look at some of the 1 or 2-drop mice in Bloomburrow and see what we got there. So more to come on this deck, but it is a really fantastic deck. It is an awesome deck if you are on a budget. Mono Red usually is. It definitely uses cards that are commons and uncommons instead of all of the rares like some of the other decks do. And because you're mana base, you could just play 18 Mountains if you wanted to. Fire Nation's Palace is really good. One of the new cards from Avatar. So if you have it, great addition to the deck, but not necessarily needed. It's not a linchpin of the deck. And so if you don't have it for either card availability or budgetary reasons, no problem there. So if you like more on this deck, please let me know in the comments below. And if you like content like this, let me know. Thumbs up is great. Subscribe to the channel is awesome. There's also a join feature to join on the channel membership. Members get exclusive member-only videos, member-only polls, and a community Discord where we're really trying to grow the conversation. So if any of that is interested to you, please check out above, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, everybody.